Hello students, early childhood care and education. Under this, we are going to deal with the topic, the types of early childhood educational programs. Early childhood education is a branch of education theory which relates to the teaching of young children formally and informally up to until the age of about 8 years. The infants and toddler education is a subset of early childhood education and denotes the education of the child from birth to the age of 2 years. In recent years, early childhood education has become prevalent public policy issue as municipal, state and federal lawmakers considering funding for preschool. Early childhood education consists of activities or experiences that are intended to affect developmental changes in children prior to their entry into the elementary school. Early childhood education programs includes any type of educational programs that serves children in the preschool years, and it is designed to improve the later school performance. So, now we will see what are the different types of early childhood education programs. Early childhood education programs can be classified into two types. First one is based on the funds and resources available, and the second classification is based on the philosophy and functioning style. Based on funds and resources, the type of programs that will be set up is certainly related to the assessed need and to the stated philosophy. The non-profit programs receive financial support through government funding or subsidies from the sponsoring agencies, while profit-making programs are supported by the capital investments of individuals or corporations. If the interest in the programs comes from group of members from low income families who approach the community or their agencies or requesting services, their request could result in government sponsored non-profit programs. On the other hand, if an individual considers establishing a daycare center in a town or a city, it will be in an individually owned center and it comes under profit making programs. First, we will see the non-profit programs. There are both public and private non-profit programs that range in size, scope from the small cooperative school to a large complex preschool programs within the public school programs. Under the non-profit programs, we have the individual cooperative programs. The cooperative programs, which are often called the parent cooperative programs, they are owned and operated by a group of parents on non-profit issues or non-profit basis. Since the parents are expected to help in the classroom, the small cooperative preschools usually functions with 1 or 2 paid staff members. Consequently, the costs are kept at a minimum and the tuition fees also very low. Most cooperatives are half-day programs because they require parent participation. However, some cooperative programs are organized as daycare centers also. So, after knowing the individual cooperative or parent cooperative programs, we will see the agency sponsored programs. Many non-profit programs are sponsored by the community agencies such as church groups, the labor unions, the community centers, the neighbor households and the model cities. These programs may be set up as a full daycare centers for the working families or half-day enrichment programs. These programs serve children from infancy to school age, and these have center-based programs as well as a system of daycare homes. Such programs are found in both in urban as well as rural areas and can serve both low income and middle income groups, and depending on how much support is provided by the sponsoring agency. After this, we are going to see the government sponsored programs. What are the government sponsored programs? The main government sponsored program is ICDS, Integrated Child Development Service. This is a government sponsored program started in the year 1975, covering the ECCE component, that is Early Childhood Care and Education component. The basic function unit of the scheme is Anganwadi. It serves the children from birth to 6 years of the age with non-formal preschool education component. It is a comprehensive childcare program to serve the children of low income group families. Play schools are also serving as ECCE centers, are sponsored by the UNICEF through the District Primary Education Programs DPEP. Then after government sponsored programs, we will see the university sponsored programs. The laboratory schools and daycare programs are two types of the programs that can be found in many university campuses. The programs are sponsored and subsidized by the university, and they provide the facilities for research, observation, the teacher training. The campus schools may be a full day or half day. The private sponsored non-profit programs. The recently large industries, hospitals, apartment complexes have included the child care centers in their premises and are offering services for the children of the employees and as well as the residents. These non-profit centers are set up for the comfort and convenience of the employees and residents. The timings are flexible and the fee is also very minimum to encourage the full availability of the facilities. So, these are some of the non-profit making programs. Now, after having understood the non-profit making programs, let us move on to see the profit making programs. Although much is written about the non-profit programs, a large majority of the early childhood education programs are proprietary. These programs are set up to provide services which will make profit. Independent owner. Many daycare and half-day programs are owned and operated by an individual or a small group of partners or a small corporations. In case of proprietary center, the tuition fees is the only source of income and operators frequently have the budgeting problems. The proprietary operators may be able to draw salary from the tuition fee that is paid by the families using the service, but the operators rarely make a profit over and above the staff salaries become the high cost of operating a quality program. The corporate systems. Large chain systems are operated by the parent campaigning that develops a prototype and sets up large number of centers throughout the state. These chains operate under central administration that furnishes the financial purpose and is usually powerful in setting the policy and controlling the programs. There is usually a prototype building and programs which are publicized by the identifiable slogans, logos, brochures and advertisements. These are some of the profit making programs. Nursery school is an educational establishment offering early childhood education to children in the age group of 3 to 5 up to 7 years of age, prior to the commencement of compulsory education or the primary school education. They may be privately operated or government run and the costs may be subsidized. There are many types and forms based on the purpose they serve. This includes cooperative nursery schools, laboratory nursery schools and a traditional nursery school. First, we will have a look into the cooperative nursery school. A cooperative is defined as a group of people coming together in a joint effort. A cooperative preschool is a group of parents joining together to educate their young children. A cooperative preschool is a non-profit organization owned and operated by the parents of the children enrolled. The parents assist the professional teachers in the classroom on a rotation basis and participate in the classroom activities. In an educational group voluntarily organized by parents for their preschool children under the guidance of a trained and experienced teacher. The remarkable feature is the parent cooperative participation in the preschool or the nursery school programs. So, after having an understanding of parent cooperative nursery school, let us now move on to see what are the laboratory nursery school. A laboratory nursery school or a demonstration school is an elementary or a secondary school operated in an association with a university, a college or any other teacher education institute used training for the teachers, educational experimentation, educational research and professional development. They are known by names like the lab schools, demonstration schools, campus schools, model schools, university affiliated schools, child development schools, etc. But all have connection to a college or a university. Each university affiliated school has a unique relationship with a college or university and has a different grade configuration. Some lab schools are only preschools or kindergarten schools. Some preschools are up to 5th or 6th grade. Mostly they serve as a resource center or a research center for an institution or agency and mostly to facilitate the student participation for practical purpose and also to provide a job training to the teachers. Here the emphasis is mostly on the 3 R's, that is reading, writing and arithmetics. So, this is the laboratory nursery school. Now, we will move on to see what is a traditional nursery school. This is first started by Macmillan sisters in England. The main objective of the nursery school is to help in the physical and mental development of young children. The curriculum stresses more upon the basic socialization and child's physical health needs. The emphasis is also laid upon the fantasy play to promote sensory motor and emotional development. According to Macmillan sisters, the nursery curriculum should include 6 aspects. First one is the caring aspect. It includes eating, sleeping and outdoor activities. Learning activities. The young children should be provided activities to teach self-caring skills and form boards. Older children should be given alphabet boards. The third aspect is perceptual motor activities. Activities for self-expression like the clay modeling, the building blocks, etc. come under these type of activities. Garden activities including planting of the trees, bed of flowers, vegetables, herbs were be given to provide the sensory experiences of taste, smell and vision. Animals were kept for nurturing activities like care, concern and sympathy. Movement activities. It includes the movement to extend the physical ability and the way of studying music. The knowledge of 3 R's. As the children grow older, they are introduced to reading, writing and arithmetic. The prerequisite skills or the basic skills required for the 3 R's should be given in the nursery. This is all about the nursery schools. After having a understanding of the different types of nursery school, let us now move on to understand a kindergarten school. A school prior to entrance to the first grade is designated as a kindergarten school. It is the unit of school which enrolls 5-year-old children on a regular basis for a year. The purpose of kindergarten program is further the developmental growth of the children through the experiences that are of interest and also help them. Many of these units are a part of public school system and others operate as a church related or privately owned or sponsored groups. Friedrich Froebel opened the first kindergarten in Germany. He formulated his philosophy under the spontaneous and self-sustaining nature of the child. What are the functions of a kindergarten school? Let us see. In kindergarten school, major emphasis is given on the sociability, aesthetics, sensory, motor development and achievement. The functions of kindergarten school according to Headley are to assist the children towards realization of the objectives like friendliness and helpfulness in relationship with the others, greater power to solve problems based on the individual activities and group relationships, responsiveness to intellectual challenges, achievement of good sensory motor coordination. Curriculum of kindergarten school. It includes the gifts, occupations, games, songs and nature study. The activities in kindergarten school are the creative activities. 40 to 50% of the time is devoted to specific creative activities like artwork, model building and so on. Music, singing, listening and rhythmic activity come under music. Language based activities, story listening, telling, poetry, group discussions all come under the language based activities. And not only this, they also have the self care activities. This kindergarten curriculum, it includes the self expression activities through play, cooperative play as well as group games. Then rhythmic or rhyming are essential for expression of language. Handworks are an opportunity for expression, and then nature study is also an important part of this kindergarten curriculum. Gifts and occupations are there to stimulate the motor expressions of the child. This is about the kindergarten school. After having understood the laboratory nursery schools or different types of nursery schools, then we went to understand what is a kindergarten school and the objectives and curriculum of a kindergarten school. Now, let us move on to see the school for the disadvantaged children. The disadvantaged child has a special needs which are not found in the group of other children. For these type of children, a center should provide many opportunities to widen the children's horizon to assist him to express himself freely and orally. Notable among the preschools are the Head Start program. It was designed for the disadvantaged children of America in 1964 by the Education Opportunity Act to assist the communities financing centers for the children of limited opportunities. It was designed to improve the children's health, help their emotional and social development by encouraging self-confidence, self-respect, dignity, spontaneity, self-discipline, to improve the mental process and skills to improve their language competencies also. The second program for disadvantaged children is Balawadi. Balawadi was started by Tarabai Modak, who was the one to first start the Balawadi in Kosabad village of Maharashtra in the year 1957. It is a type of indigenous nursery school meant for the tribal children. Later, these Balawadis were taken up by the CSWB, the Center Social Welfare Board, and spread in all the urban as well as rural areas. Activities in Balawadi. The activities in Balawadi are the healthcare activities, the outdoor activities, free activities, creative and art activities, sensory training activities, language and number activities, field trips and excursions. let us now move on to have a understanding of what is a creches. These are a kind of daycare centers that take care of the children below 3 years of age whose parents are at work. There are many types of creches based on the organization, location and the services it offers. Mobile creches. They are mostly designed for moving population, that is like the construction workers who move from one place to another place frequently. These programs make it possible to reach the underprivileged, marginal and migrant population whose living conditions are very bad. Family creches. They are operated in homes. The women of the house take care of a small group of neighborhood children. The parent operated creches. These are financed by parents. Here the parents also participate and play active role depending on the availability and provide the continuity between home and the institution. So, after having understood the different type of creches and the different type of schools for underprivileged or disadvantaged children, let us now move on to understand what is Montessori schools. Maria Montessori developed a new system of education as a joyful process of self-discovery and self-realization. She tried new materials and methods for slum children in the year 1907. She created a learning environment through her approach called the Montessori method. Montessori's contribution to education. She believed that education must help in the complete unfolding of the child's individuality. Suitable environment should be provided so that the child may grow and develop her potentialities. The child or the children need a training for different types through exercises which are instrumental in giving them motor education, sensory education and education for language development. She was against material rewards and punishments. According to her, the material rewards are unnatural incentives and punishment leads to forced efforts on the part of the child. She believed that every child is unique and the rate of progress is also different for every child. And the collective method of teaching crushes the child's individuality. Montessori asserted that the sense or the gateways of knowledge. Montessori system is a child-centered. The child is free to choose the activity they like or desire. Individualized teaching is the focal point of Montessori's method. The teaching strategy is evolved individually for each child based on her needs and interest. Spontaneity is an essential character of the Montessori's education. She infused a spirit of respect for the child and the child's personality. She pursued that the child's learning through the activities that are interested and challenging for them. She emphasized upon the careful observation of the child by the teacher and utilization of the children's behavior as a criteria for determining the validity of educational procedures. Maria Montessori developed the method for the slum children in Rome. The basic principles of this Montessori method are that every child has the capacity within him or her for his own development. The environment can modify or develop the child or it may hinder it also. The child develops through a series of stages. At each stage, he requires a new type of learning experience. Freedom of choice or freedom of action allows the child to seek out the situation from which he can learn. Her program includes the practical life activities, sensory training, nature study, intellectual activities, language activities, pre-reading, pre-writing and pre-number activities. These are the Montessori's methods and activities in a Montessori school. Let us now move on to know about the open schools. The curriculum of open education system follows a combination of the three models, that is the kindergarten, Montessori and nursery schools. It has no clear cut schedule of activities. The children will be given freedom to select the activities. They are allowed to move out of the classrooms to play new activities in the corridors or in the playgrounds. Books, structured or unstructured materials are also provided in the classrooms. The children will be given freedom to arrange the classrooms to add a new material or play material at any time or their own way. These type of schools help the children to extend their intellectual and emotional resources. Curriculum of open schools. Curriculum of open schools include the play, which is given a special importance with no distinction between work and play. The content of the program is organized in some integrated fashion, and the topics or the projects used are also at integrated vehicles. No concern to cover any specific amount of content, and there is no necessity to involve every child to achieve this curriculum. The success of the child is purely individualistic. This is about the open school. So, today we have learnt the different types of early childhood educational programs. First, we have seen that early childhood educational programs can be on two types. First is depending on the funds and resources available, then the second classification is based on the philosophy. Then we went to understand the different types of nursery schools and the curriculum, and then we went to understand the kindergarten school, the activities taking place in the kindergarten school. Then we have seen the school for the disadvantaged children like the Head Start program, Balawadis, Anganwadis. And then we try to understand the different types of creches, which include the mobile creches for the underprivileged families, the migrant population, and then we have seen the family operated creches. Then we have seen the Maria Montessori schools, which have the Montessori method of education. And then we try to understand the what is open school, which includes the concepts or philosophy of the three schools like the kindergarten, nursery and Montessori. So, we have understood the different type of early childhood education programs. Hope you have understood the lesson. Thank you.